is Rebecca Schofstall, and I am the DTI Academy Manager at Digital Thinker. Today I want to take a few moments to demonstrate dynamic checklists in Hexagon EAM. I am very excited about the potential use cases for this functionality, which was released in version 12.1. First of all, dynamic checklist items are items that remain hidden on a checklist until another checklist item is answered that meets a predefined condition. Let's look at an example together. Here on the task plan screen, you will notice there are two new tabs: Dynamic Checklist Conditions and Dynamic Checklist. On the Dynamic Checklist Conditions tab is where you set up conditions for specific checklist items. In this example, I want to control which checklist items appear depending on how the user responds to or answers whether or not this is for the weekly, monthly, or annual PM. Now, to define which checklist items should appear based on these conditions, that setup is done on the Dynamic Checklist tab. Here I have defined which checklist items I want the system to display depending on how the user answers whether or not this is for the weekly, monthly, or annual PM. If it's a weekly, I want 3 additional checklist items to appear. Whereas if it's a monthly, I want the same 3 checklist items to appear in addition to one to replace the upper gaskets. Then similarly, if it's an annual, I want my 3 to display along with 1 additional checklist item to replace all gaskets. So by using a dynamic checklist, I can have one task plan for the weekly, monthly, and annual engine PM. Let's see this in action on a work order. Here on the checklist tab of my work order, I have my one checklist item asking if this is for the weekly, monthly, or annual PM. If this is for a weekly, I could make my selection or answer the question and then save or submit. Depending on the selection or how the user answers the checklist item is going to dictate which additional checklist items appear. In this case, since I selected weekly, my 3 additional checklist items are now displayed. Let's say, for instance, this was a monthly PM. So I would select monthly, then click the Save Submit button. In addition to my 3 weekly checklist items, I now have the checklist item to replace the upper gaskets, whereas if this was an annual PM, I would have the checklist item to replace all gaskets. Now, I hope you found this quick demonstration useful, and it prompts you to start thinking of ways to leverage dynamic checklists. If you're interested in learning more, I encourage you to register for an upcoming DTI Academy class on task plan checklists. Thank you.